This time on Video Game Tango. It's been a massive week for game announcements, game trailers, and game demos, especially featuring indie games. We've got a list of our favorites so far, so tune in as we embark on the fantastic voyage that is Video Game Tango's previews of upcoming video games.
This is Nick, and it seems recently that AAA stands for ass cubed for the sheer amount of shit they've been trying to feed us.
Hi, I'm Josh, and I've recently discovered my nipples are pixelated.
My name is Andy. Make sure you check out the blog at videogametango.com for trailers and links to all the games we feature on this week's episode of Video Game Tango.
Greetings.
It's been a fucking week, gentlemen.
I don't think it has.
It's been 19 days since last Wednesday.
That's not true at all. Last Wednesday was 7 days ago. And in those 7 days, so since we had the PlayStation State of Play, the OTK Games Expo, we've also had Summer Games Fest. We've had IGN Expo, the EGS Games Showcase, Tribeca Games Spotlight, Freedom Games, Guerrilla Collective, Wholesome Direct, Future of Play Direct, Future Games Show, Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, PC Gamer PC Gaming Show, and the Capcom Showcase.
And another one.
And guess what? We don't plan on talking about Starfield tonight. So we do, though, have a solid fucking lineup of games, something that we've curated from all of these game shows, some of the
Really
most exciting
things that aren't brought to you by Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Yes, exclusively. So we have mostly indie games on our radar. I think they're a platform that needs to be talked about more frequently and needs to get a bigger showcase. And we get to see some really, really excellent stuff from a lot of these smaller developers. Now, we have a couple bigger games in the list, but as far as what we're going to be showing and talking about tonight, most of it is indie games. So why don't we get started, boys?
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
dig right in. I have a sneeze, but it.
Well,
Tell it to go away.
tell it to go away.
Fuck off, sneeze. Now put it back. Thank you.
All right, we are ready.
We're ready. So the first on the list we have is There Is No Light.
This was the
That's
Salt
the
and
sequel
Sanctuary.
to Let
Yes.
There Be Light. Yeah.
No.
There's no more.
I mean, we wouldn't have no light without light. So those are words that I said just now.
So yeah, I was getting like metal album Hades vibes
Kind of, yeah.
from this one. Yeah.
Really excellent pixel art.
Honestly, that was a hallmark of a few videos that we saw tonight. Was just on point pixel art.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was very few games tonight that looked like garbage. And
Fast paced.
Excellent soundtrack. Beautiful pixel art. What more are you going to ask for from a beat 'em up hack and slash top-down perspective? It just looks incredible. The pacing looks awesome. So little to say about this game other than it looks fucking sick.
And does it have a demo out right now?
It does not.
Oh no!
Oh no! Wait, yes, it does.
This is one that had a demo. Yeah,
It does. So as far as I gotta get to my notes here.
this is
There Is No Light has a demo available. It's coming out September 2022. It's available on Steam. We'll have that in the notes. Every game we talk about tonight, we're gonna have on videogametango.com in the blog.
It just made the list of games I'm going to try.
It 100% made the list.
it absolutely, I mean, I think Metroidvanias and beat 'em ups like that, like these kind of Hades, Bastion-esque inspired games, they are a perfect playground to showcase just absolutely fantastic animations and art.
Yeah.
And I mean, at some point, you just have to acknowledge that sometimes games are worth playing just due to how they look.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Hopefully the game feels tight and has good systems and mechanics. You know, with a lot of these games, we get to see some of the combat and the gameplay, but until you really get a chance to sink your teeth into it, which thankfully, because there's a demo, we don't really know. So very promising, very gorgeous. I'm looking forward to seeing where that one goes.
Absolutely. Next up on the list, we have No Place for Bravery.
And this was a very similar one.
Very similar in its stylization, more pixel art, gorgeous looking pixel art. Looks like a fairly large world, and another hack and slash. This one
more Zelda-esque, more open world-ish looking.
Yeah, definitely. Like a little bit more adventure game than action, but certainly action involved. Also another gory title.
Yeah. I was getting big Children of Morta vibes, if anybody played that 2019 from it. But yeah, it's got a puzzle, platforming, adventuring, but also a little combat based.
Looks like his son just exploded out of an egg there. This is pixel art. This is pixel art God of War. Okay, you're,
Yeah.
Maybe a little
you're
bit, yeah.
traversing the world with your son. He's probably a snarky little ass too, but it looks like fun. It looks like there's some like Zelda-esque puzzles. You get to jump around.
Some great set piece bosses too.
Yes, fun-looking boss fights, fast-paced combat. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, No Place for Bravery. Available September 23rd, I think I saw.
Yeah.
September
this was-
22nd, there is no demo.
So this was
No
one
demo.
that had no demo. Yeah.
Okay.
Next up on the list, we have Project Warlock 2.
I had watched some of the first Project Warlock, and this one even more so, leaning heavily into the awesome pixel art. This is just a great revival boomer shooter. It looks like an absolutely gory kind of take on Hexen or what's the other one that was around that same time. I mean, it's kind of like Hexen, little Quake,
Yeah.
little Doom.
I was gonna say, it gave me like when I was 10 and playing Doom, like kind of vibes. But
For sure.
I mean, tight and crisp.
Yeah. Yeah, the pixel art in this one, it's got what would that call that shading style? Almost comic book-esque.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in that original Doom Quake style engine with the 2D sprites that turn to face you, depending on your angle at them. But oh man, is it gory. I mean,
Super gory
literally
shooter.
raining blood.
Yep.
The guns look really solid.
We see some magic use, some melee combat, and lots of guns.
Lots
Yeah.
of guns.
So a nice little teaser. Out now in early access, I think is what that.
Yes, it is out now in early access for $15.29 on Steam.
And that was called.
That's Project Warlock 2.
Gotcha.
The Deuce.
Next up on the list, we have Sacrifier.
Terrible name.
Yeah, I did not like the name. Yeah, I didn't even
take a-
catch what the name was till partway through. But again, I like the art. I think it's an RPG.
It is an RPG. So the description is a modern JRPG inspired game with a unique battle system, rich story, fantastic visuals, and music by Motoi Sakuraba.
I mean, the visuals are pretty nice. I do like.
I mean,
the
right off the
visuals.
bat, the city they show, it gives me huge if Eberron from D&D was made by like a Japanese artist. It's got this kind of steam magic punk feel to it. When it comes to the gameplay, it looks a little bit like ActRaiser, but then it gets into combat. And it's
Yeah.
very Streets of Rage, very, moving up and down through the isometric kind of, but it's a side scroller, but it's got that kind of isometry to it where you have to line your character up like you did in Turtles of Time, right?
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about later.
For sure.
But yeah, like you mentioned, it looks like there might be, especially with the unique system, there might be some kind of timing or rhythm element to it.
It does look like it's got a combo system to it.
Yeah,
so
some
like
kind of interesting shtick there.
Yeah, so it looks like I was in that second viewing, I was seeing like a bar that goes up with every successful hit. So it does look
Okay.
like you get some kind of power meter.
Some timing things.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like it even said combo. So it does look like there is a combo system in the combat system.
Yeah, we'll see how that one pans out.
Combo.
Availability demo? Yes, no?
No demo. It is TBD, but it will be on Steam.
Okay, probably this year then.
Probably this year. Next up, we have Madison.
Ooh, yeah, no, dude, this was like creepypasta right here, homie. Like,
Yeah, a bit. So it definitely throws out some PT vibes. It also throws out some Fatal Frame vibes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, because you do have a camera, and it looks like so it's a horror game, and it looks like the monster appears, especially when you use your camera flash. It also showed you developing photos from your camera. So it looks like maybe you're supposed to be like logging interactions with the monster or like kind of like a discovery horror type game.
Yeah, we got some audible grunts and noises out of Josh when he first watched this. I think we just heard one a minute ago.
Like, honestly,
Very.
dude, it gives me, it gives me some serious creep. Like, because you audio listeners and people watching the cast, like, we got audio with this earlier, and it has like that really creepy record playing in the background where you can kind of hear like some shit that your grandparents' great aunt listened to.
Yeah.
Like, I remember
Spit and crackle from the old gramophone.
It's just, oh my God, dude. It just, like, it sets up all the creep. And I don't,
Yeah, I mean, it looks like definitely solid PT vibes from that one
Yeah.
as far as gameplay goes. So.
If you're into horror genre, it's going to be coming out July 8th. There is no demo available just yet.
Okay, soon
it's
though.
just around the corner, though.
It really is, yeah. Next up on the list, we have Gigabash.
Gigabash.
This was not the game I thought it was, but it still looks aight.
So yeah, this is a King of Monsters-esque game. I'm dating myself, the old Super Nintendo game, but you essentially play as Godzilla-esque kaijus in a what looks like a 1v1 or 2v2, 3v3 brawl style game. What was the other one with the wolf and the lizard? The side-scrolling one?
Rampage?
Rampage, yeah.
Kind of Rampage vibes. It doesn't look like destroying the city is the goal of this one, but I did see a monster break off a building and headbutt it into another monster as an attack, which is a super clever idea.
It does look like you can incorporate the environment in your attacks against the other monster. But Gigabash says its description is claim your place as king among titans. Gigabash is a multiplayer arena brawler with gigantic film-inspired kaiju, larger than life heroes, earth-shattering special attacks, and fully destructible environments. And yeah, the environment looks like it plays a key role in the gameplay.
Yeah, I love the theming. There looks like there's a lot of combo potentials, whatnot. I'm not sure if it's going to lean more towards a fighting style control schema than something more along. I know Smash is a fighting game, but Smash seems to be at least a bit more accessible when it comes to combos and whatnot than something like Street Fighter. I have a feeling it's going to fall more along the lines of Smash style controls than something like multi-button combos.
Yeah, something a little bit more arcadey for sure.
But yeah, that's Epic Games August 5th.
August 5th on EGS.
Also, just right around the corner, not too far away.
Yeah, definitely. That's my birthday.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll play some Gigabash. Ooh. Next up on the list, we have Boundary. Which I saw this and I was like, wow, okay, that is a new take on the modern shooter.
Yes, absolutely.
Very modern.
Yeah.
So the general feel, dear audio listeners, you've got very realistic modern day humans in space suits around a space station. So think NASA style suits, except it's a shooter. So CSGO or Siege in space with, full... you're in space, you can rotate in any direction. You've got velocity to worry about. I don't know yet if bullet recoil actually changes your velocity. It'd be awesome if it did. But yeah, essentially you get to play NASA astronauts fighting around a space station with guns. And it looks pretty tight.
Very three-dimensional.
I would say the three-dimensionality of it, that's pretty cool. That might just be a little bit of new life in a shooter genre there.
How much VR experience do you have, Josh?
Almost none. Like, I've played Beat Saber like a handful of times.
Something Andy and I talked about for a minute. I thankfully have next to zero issues doing VR or games where you're flipping upside down and rotating and whatnot. It doesn't bother me like in the slightest. Andy's got a little bit. I don't know how much you have, but even non-VR, that game might give some people some tummy feelings.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's very much like a flight sim. You can rotate in any direction, and it's nice to bring a whole nother level to a shooter where now not only do you have to worry about left, right, front, and center and up and down, but which way is left, right, up, and center.
Right.
Yeah.
Every corner and every pit is now a corner or a pit or a
somehow behind you, above you, and also to the left, wherever the fuck that is. So that's a whole. Yeah. And if the shooting fucks with your trajectory, dude, that would be so cool and a lot of thought.
And that one again was
Boundary. No demo out. It's to be determined. Release date. It'll be available on Steam.
I mean, don't rush them, guys. Let them work on it. Let them fine tune.
I mean,
that.
Given the gameplay we saw there really cool. With a full HUD up,
cool.
it looks like they're definitely at least solidly through the beta.
Oh,
and
certainly.
Again, more than likely, probably this year, not accounting for delays.
Yeah. Next up on the list, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Cowabunga!
Now, man, we've been wanting like a Turtles in Time-esque arcade game, and this is exactly that. So like even harkens back to the original art styles from those games. The trailer is like a fully animated episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It looks incredible. If we're gonna be getting these kinds of cutscenes in like between levels and stuff,
hope so.
That'll be
jizz-worthy.
Yeah, it's solid, like B plus animation for these little cutscenes.
Yeah,
and they've got really good. They've got 3D mixed with 2D in here. I can see now that I'm watching it a second time. And the gameplay and the graphics of the game itself, it looks like Turtles in Time, but updated. And I got fucking down on some Turtles in Time back on the SNES in those days. It was one of my favorite games.
Fuck yeah, boy.
So to have 4-player available co-op, playing this again, Shredder's Revenge.
Oh my God,
it
just looks so good.
Dude, at Pizza Hut, if it wasn't Turtles in Time, it was Metal Slug. It was basically those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. The color palette and art's given me more Final Fantasy Tactics vibes. They definitely muted from the original Turtles in Time, but it looks great. It looks fantastic. That's just a choice, not a problem.
And when does that come out?
That comes out tomorrow. So as of recording, it's tomorrow. It comes out June 16th, meaning that by the time you're listening to this, it is available on Steam. I absolutely plan on playing this one. It has online multiplayer co-op.
As soon as you're done listening to this, go download it.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, just go download it.
Check
download it.
Check the reviews first.
Check it out.
Give it some time. I'm going to have a lot more opportunity coming up soon to be able to play more.
If you like Turtles,
I would be absolutely down to play it with our listeners at any time.
100%.
Do you like ninjas? Do you like turtles?
Do you like Ninja Turtles?
Do you like Ninja Turtles?
Do you like Heroes in a Half Shell?
Absolutely.
Turtle Power?
Turtle Power.
Next up on the list, we have Flat Eye.
Flat Eye.
Wasn't that your nickname in high school?
No.
So, prison architect, RimWorld, hotel or hospital manager.
Yeah.
Except you're running a cyberpunk gas station.
Yes.
Not only people getting gas in their cars are also buying replacement organs out of a vending machine. With this, I had to look up his name again, Simon Stollenhag, the artist who did Tales from the Loop and a couple other things. I will show you two real quick if you want to look over here. Huge kind of Nordic vibes from this. But yeah, super thematic. Like it grabbed my goat and took it somewhere. I don't know. I got to go find it.
Yeah. So I watched a little gameplay loop of this.
Is there some out?
There is, yeah. And what I saw was the player was trying to get smart bathrooms installed. The smart bathroom will check the contents of your visitors' droppings to see what conditions they may have. So you can do suggestive selling from your vending machines and organs.
I love it.
It'll do things like do suggestive sell for other products based on their needs for nutrition. That way you can up your sales while people are at your gas station.
All the things that I despise in real life, I love in video games, right?
I was mentioning earlier, it's got that hyper corporistic like feel, like a Satisfactory or a Deep Rock Galactic, and I love that kind of self-aware. Hyper corporate.
How is that guy's pooping with his pants and shoes on, all tucked up?
It teleports it out of your colon.
Yeah, dude, it's the future.
Oh.
Josh doesn't like the concept.
Josh doesn't like the future.
I don't want
a machine pooping for me. You never wanted somebody else to poop for you?
No, that would be fine, but I don't want to have to go to a place where like they have to poop for me. Like if I have
they're on the road, man. They're traveling. Like imagine at home, you're sitting in your chair playing your game, and you don't even have to get up and go to the bathroom. It just
honestly,
teleports your poop
that
out
would
of you.
be one of my wishes if I found a genie, is that I get to will my poops to other people.
Oh God!
And that's like,
oh man, I've got some fucking bubble gut.
Yeah,
hot snakes and bubble gut.
Tell me for the first month you wouldn't just constantly send it to Mitch McConnell.
I was going to say Lindsey Graham is never going to have another moment of peace again. But
yeah,
here we are.
That was Flatline.
Flat Eye.
Flat Eye. No demo available. Will be on Steam later this year.
That made my cyborg nipples wrecked.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm excited to check that one out.
Next up on the list, we have Shachingo. Now, For me, this wasn't it's not a game like we've been talking about previously. It is a game in which you traverse a city, a fake city in Japan, and you take photos as if you were a tourist. As you're taking photos, it will give you the English translations of what you're taking photos of and say them aloud for you and show you the spelling. That way you can learn Japanese at a gamer's pace.
Yeah, it's a very kind of gamification take on almost Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, kind of
in a sense of you just take pictures, things, you get a little logbook, and it's a neat way to attempt to learn the mountain that is Japanese.
Yes, more edutainment than entertainment, but I think it's a really clever way for somebody to learn a second language.
Honestly, if it catches on, do it with other languages.
Yeah, 100%.
Catches on, make it a phone app.
Yeah,
Totally.
Like do it in real life.
Absolutely.
Like how cool would that be that, use the AI learning, oh, that's a skateboard. What language of you're using? I'll tell you what it is. Right?
I mean, you actually can do that already.
Yeah, but they should really make it an approachable, gamified version.
Sure.
Something you can get on. This is out on the Switch, which I think was perfect.
Yes.
But did we have a release date on that?
So for Shachingo, we have TBD, no demo.
TBD.
Yep. But it'll be available on the Switch and Steam when it comes out.
Oh, very cool.
Yep. Next up. Okay. All right. We've got Outpost.
Oh yeah, man.
This game
cool, dude.
took me by surprise because it's one that I hadn't seen in the rest of the game shows. It starts off by showing you like what almost looks like what are the bad guys called in the Matrix?
The
octopuses.
octopuses.
The Sentinels.
The Sentinels, yeah. Like showing massive amounts of these Sentinel-looking creatures from the Matrix.
You're gunning them, you're doing a thing,
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter. Then it starts showing some
Satisfactory style base building.
Yeah, some really good-looking base building. Then it goes to show a top-down isometric view of the base building, like an RTS
version. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm getting huge. Like, if They Are Billions, the indie game, was a first-person shooter with the theme of, what's the game we were talking about earlier? The Frozen Planet one?
The Frozen Planet one.
Where you fought the kaijus?
Lost Planet.
Lost Planet. Yeah, huge Lost Planet vibes.
Yeah.
Along with They Are Billions. But
big chunky guns.
Yeah, and when we say Matrix robots, like it opens with literally thousands of those octopus-esque robots flying in like this massive funnel, and you're just unloading these chunky guns into it. Yeah, this one again was.
This one is Outpost.
Outpost. This is, I mean, even if it doesn't sound like your game, check out the trailer because it is all over the place.
Dude, if it has a multiplayer aspect to it, where like someone's doing the RTS part and like you got people on the ground, like this is my favorite trailer that we covered tonight. If we check into it a little bit more and a little more information comes out, but dude, this just looks so cool to be.
You see that call in that drop pod, and as the drop pod hits the ground and is skidding, it opens up into a fucking laser turret and just immediately starts firing.
It's already looking like it's got a good amount of polish. I'm hopeful for this game.
That's one thing most of these games have.
Yes.
Like these trailers are all very well done, and they give me hope that these games are on the verge of release.
Yeah, like close.
Yeah,
close, right?
Almost all of these are TBD 2022 or early 2023.
Yeah.
So we may only be halfway through the year, but that means we only have half the year to go before most of these games are out. And I'm looking forward to them immensely. So check out Outpost. Absolutely check out the trailer. I don't know if there's gameplay out on Outpost yet, but I think it's worth throwing on your wish list. Next up, we have Morbid Metal.
Oh yeah, this is that one that. Yeah, I had some thoughts on this one.
Yes.
There's so many games that are similar to this in one way or another.
Yeah.
That immediately I feel like it doesn't have a lot of identity. I'm getting that feeling I've mentioned before, that Unreal or Unity engine feel, where it feels like this is a pot roast that needs another few hours in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
And not just in like, you don't need to tweak the graphics on level 3, but I feel like too many, and again, this is just a trailer. I'm trying to like extrapolate here. the background, the level design compared to the units we're seeing and the figures and everything feels slightly disconnected. There doesn't seem to be a over connecting kind of vibe to each part of this. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard for me to get a good opinion on what it's going to be like, because it is this God of War, Devil May Cry-esque fighting game, third person, high paced, very kind of anime looking with robots, but also like in a wilderness background.
And you're perhaps
you're a weird samurai, cyborg
Yeah.
samurai, and like you got to really you can juggle the enemies and all these cool things. This is definitely going to appeal to some type of gamers like hardcore, they
like
like
me.
that. Yeah, it's like Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, like his spin-off game.
I would have said more Devil May Cry, but
No, I just meant in feel. Like
yeah.
it's that future, but still it has the samurai aspect to it, especially with the forest in the background, the Shinto archway. But we just mostly see combat. Like, is that what this game is? Are you just fighting big set piece bosses and doing stuff? I mean, that's still cool.
Yeah, it's hard to tell simply because they only show like one area so far. Yeah, it looks like they've got the combat mostly down. It may need some tightening, but that's it so far. We don't have really any more set pieces than the one kind of arena that they show us.
I never want to tell a developer, don't make a game because it isn't anything new, because there's nothing new under the sun. But the question I have to ask is, we have a lot of games out there like this already. Why should we pay for your game?
Yeah.
Like, why not play Sekiro? Or what's the other Sekiro-esque one that just came out that Japan was super proud of because it was highly historically accurate?
Yes, I can't remember.
The samurai one.
Yes. I'm not going to remember.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it can find its niche. I would like to see more before I have any real strong opinion of it. It just looks like it needs some more time in the oven.
So let's check out what Steam says about it, and its description is Morbid Metal is a hack and slash action roguelite where you can shapeshift into unique characters to slaughter enemies with powerful combos. We didn't really see any shapeshifting as far as
we saw him turn into a weird wispy.
It's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell. It is really fast paced.
Yeah.
Switch characters in real time to unleash your power and fight your way through hordes of deadly machines and intense bosses. It was hard to tell if we were looking at any boss combat there. It looked like maybe
a couple of them look like mini bosses
because they got like little cutscenes as an introduction. It's hard to tell if that's going to be indicative of what the final game looks like. Because, like I said, we only got one set piece, right? Mm-hmm. So, are we fighting just infinite hordes, or is there going to be some kind of linear progression? We don't know yet. Really, it looks like this might be one of the earliest in development games that we've looked at so far.
Yeah,
because just from gameplay alone, which this is the official trailer is almost 100% gameplay, and despite having seen a bunch of gameplay of this at this point, we really don't know where it's going, and the descriptor from Steam isn't terribly helpful either.
I think one of the problems I have is I never know if a trailer is done poorly due to naivety or if it's on purpose. Like, you showed me a trailer that's 30 seconds long and 99% of it is just Devil May Cry style combat.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to tell me? Like, it's one thing to showcase your game, but like, if the only thing you show is, this intense fighting in the same area, like, what do you want me to get from that? Like, if that's all you're showing me, like, I don't think this game is gonna like win any awards, and it might not. It'd be another kind of B+ game, but maybe they just didn't have the opportunity to show off the things that they're going to add to it because it's too early in development. So, with all that ranting aside, I'll definitely withhold opinion on that till I see more of it.
Yeah, certainly something to watch for. It definitely tickles my fancy a little bit because I'm really into
you love DMC. You played all those games.
Oh yeah,
the original God of Wars.
I played all of the Devil May Cries.
What was the emo Zelda one? Darksiders?
Not Darksiders. Yeah.
Was it Darksiders?
Yeah, Darksiders. Darksiders. I loved Darksiders. I was a little bit less into Darksiders 2. They added RPG elements that I didn't think it necessarily needed.
Okay.
Because one of my favorite parts of the original Darksiders was that it was so Zelda-like.
Yeah.
And that it was like a really kind of an adult version of, of an Ocarina of Time or something like that.
I mean, I dug God of War. That's one of the games I'm looking forward to, like the next one coming out
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, I got so into it. I even watched a few YouTube videos on the history of it. So I got a little bit into it. Yeah,
for sure. We'll move on to the next one. We have the Entropy Center.
Oh, dude, this one looked cool. This one was I think my second favorite standout.
This is probably the most AAA title that we're looking at this evening.
Do we know the developer?
I can't remember, but we'll see here shortly. It is coming to almost every platform, so it's going to be on Xbox Series S, X, PS4, PS5, PC. I think the only platform it's not going to be on is Switch. The Entropy Center, it reminds me kind of a Portal, but
I was going to say Portal. It has a very Portal vibey.
Yeah, but it looks like entropy is happening to Earth. We're seeing the heat death of Earth, and in some way or another, the energy that you're creating by reversing time to complete puzzles or adding physics to puzzles is supposed to do something that helps save the planet. It looks like you might be able to, with enough energy provided by completing three-dimensional puzzles, Portal style, that you're trying to reverse the damage done to Earth by potentially shooting Earth back into time. I don't know yet. This is all extrapolation from a 2-minute trailer, but
then there's like little grumpy robots that you have to shoot, and you have to use the terrain to defend yourself and attack things, all by moving it through time. So, dude, this is cool. This is really cool. Neat idea.
So this is made by Stubby Games, and as far as I can tell with a quick search, this is their only PC game release date. Quote from the founder, Daniel Stubbington. The Entropy Center isn't pulling any punches. Quote, this is the game that I've wanted to craft for a long time, and I can't wait to see players delve into this crazy time-manipulating world that I've created. I'm getting huge Portal vibes, and like I mentioned before, totally fine taking 89% of another game and starting a game off that. The question you have to answer is, what is your game doing differently that's worth playing through? And one thing I've noticed is whenever you're moving things around with your time reverse entropy gun, it's showing a digital trail of where it was, where I think as in Portal, you need to think with portals. In this one, you need to think, okay, if I move this through time and space in this direction, I'm going to have to rewind it exactly backwards to help solve puzzles. So you might need to move something into place at one point, right? And then do some things and then just have everything move back to be able to solve the puzzle. I think that's a really neat idea.
And it seems like you have to reverse the damage done. So it looks like a lot of
thematically they're trying to fix the station and eventually fix Earth.
And it looks like a lot of the puzzle-based stuff is going to, a lot of the puzzles are going to be kind of figuring out, okay, in what manner was this destroyed and how do I fix it? And
there was a momentary little combat scene there fighting robots where he restored the corner of a building to use as cover, which is kind of neat. But I think this is neat. And I'm always down for more Portal likes, as long as you have a neat enough twist on it, it's a great theme and genre to build off of, and we can always use more of them.
Dude, that grumpy robot, I'm all about it.
Well, and it's cute.
It is cute.
Yeah. So Entropy Center?
The Entropy Center, yes.
The Entropy Center. British spelling.
Center. CENTRE. Next up on the list, we have The Last Faith.
Real quick, was there a release date on...
on the Entropy Center? No, and no demo.
Okay. Sometime this year.
Sometime 2022.
Oh, this one looked pretty cool. Another great-looking pixel art game.
I mean, after the pixel art we saw earlier in this, I didn't really think it was going to get much better. This one, honestly...
It brought the heat, baby. It brought the heat.
I can't say the ones don't look as good as this one, but as far as the feel and theme of the pixel art, this is fantastic. I mean, I don't think I've seen it. It's very much a Dark Souls-esque Metroidvania. Yeah. But showing... finishing moves and combos, they are so damn smooth. See some of the ways that he finishes off enemies in this, it looks like it would be out of a cutscene, but he's clearly doing it in combat. And some of that monster design is off the hook.
Off the hook monster design.
It's funny that you say Metroidvania and Souls-like at the same time, because one thing that I really appreciated by the Steam description of this game is how blatantly honest it is and how aware it is of what it is. The Last Faith, an unholy alliance of Metroidvania and Souls-like.
Okay.
The Last Faith thrives on merciless and precise combat with a huge range of custom executions to perform. The wicked and the blessed will be judged the same. Let nothing stand in your way. So definitely getting Souls-like vibes, definitely getting Metroidvania.
Yeah. There was another Souls-like Metroidvania that has a similar super gothic feel to it. I'm going to see if I can look it up real quick. You guys talk a little bit more about...
Dude, this just looks like, I don't know, like 13-year-old nerdy Josh who's really just starting to get into fantasy for the first time. Like the game I wanted to play when I was 13 years old. Now, thankfully, at 35, I'm going to be able to get to play it now.
So this looks like Blasphemous. That's a game that came out 3 years ago. I'm almost pressed to say...
It does kind of have...
Yeah. They have the very same Gothic-esque feel. If you like Blasphemous, which was essentially a 2D Dark Souls, you're definitely going to like this. And Blasphemous, very positive reviews out of 20,000 reviews.
But it looks like you get to use a lot of different weapons. You're using a lot of different like spells or magics.
Yeah.
Again, hard to say, but there's a lot of different style of attacks going on. It looks pretty cool. And like you said, homie, it knows what it is, and it's leaning into that well. I mean, like, if do a thing, do it good.
That description just leads me to think that it knows what it is and it wants to do it better.
Yeah.
Right? Or as well.
It's really like, you know.
Yeah.
It's a fat kid in Little League. It's just leaning into it, baby.
I really think the last 5 years have been a golden age for Metroidvanias.
Yes.
I mean, just trying to think back through my head, dozens pop in. I mean, not even obvious things like Hollow Knight and Ori and the Blind Forest and Celeste. But I keep thinking, like, I don't really know where we're going to go from here. Light Drifter, fucking all these things. But yeah, we don't need to pretend anymore that you're not making a Metroidvania.
No.
It has some issues, the genre, pillars that people have talked about before, but for the most part, it's a fantastic framework for a game.
Yes.
And I think we will probably continue to hone it. But I think if in the next couple of years, we're going to be seeing, hopefully Hollow Knight too, we're going to be seeing some absolutely fantastic, almost perfected versions of Metroidvanias.
Well, sir, we are seeing the next Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I know, but like people have been saying, it's going to come out. It's going to come out for like for 40 years now.
Yeah, so. I'm pretty sure it got a release date.
Did it?
Yeah, let's look that up.
Look it up.
While you look that up, that was The Last Faith. I look really forward to that one. I feel bad for Crowsworn because The Last Faith is looking like, if I had to choose between Crowsworn and The Last Faith, I'm choosing The Last Faith. I'll probably play both, to be honest.
Hollow Knight Silksong has been confirmed to be playable in the next 12 months.
Okay, perfect. So we have a very loose release date.
Yes.
Yeah. So The Last Faith, TBD, no demo. Next up, we have Shadows of Doubt. Now, this one looks unique.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this was right up my alley. So immediately it's film noir, Splinter Cell, but no combat, right? You're some kind of spy detective who's trying to solve cases, but you have a very much a thief-esque kind of stealth element to the game. But you're also, making a pinboard of clues and sneaking in and stealing files from computers. Very 1920s-esque film noir style feel to it with what looked like voxels.
Yeah, it does look like it's voxel-based.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a really interesting kind of dark film noir art style, but voxels. So it suffers from that thing that voxel games suffer from, which is lots and lots of bloom and that kind of thing, but really helps with the kind of what I think is a unique style that we haven't seen too much before.
Style of gameplay. I mean, the idea of mixing what amounts to most gamers aren't aware, unless you're a casual gamer nowadays, surprisingly, that the point and click puzzle solving style games, they are hugely popular. They're all over on the mobile market. There's this whole like side category of games, which is like, you know, solving mysteries and puzzles. But you rarely see them as first person live action stealth games. I think it's really fantastic. As this goes with most games of this genre, it's, budget or not budget, how much it makes and how well it does and its popularity is going to be entirely dependent on how good it is. Yeah. And I don't mean in a general sense, like your puzzles and your clues and your murders and whatnot. If you can write them well and you have a good narrative behind them and you have good timing, like you can really do well in those games, but it is a niche fucking market.
Yeah.
So
and if it's not good, it will be rejected by the niche.
It'll just be forgotten, you know, so
right on.
That one was
Shadows of Doubt.
Shadows of Doubt.
Yep. Release date to be determined, and no demo yet.
Yeah, that really tickled my novelty uvula.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to check that one out.
Next up on the list, we have Arctic Awakening.
Ooh, this one looked neat too. This one looked pretty.
This one I featured specifically because I'm a huge fan of The Thing. And crash landing somewhere in like an icy hellscape of Alaska, and you start finding mysterious pylons and what looks like maybe like alien type creatures. It sings to me a bit.
Yeah. So if you haven't already noticed, dear listeners, when I watch a new game trailer, immediately I unconsciously think of what games is this like, so I have a baseline to kind of compare it to.
Yeah.
The Long Dark and Firewatch. If that rings any bells for you, that's the feeling I'm getting. Like you said, I love The Thing. It's my most favorite horror movie of all time.
Mine too.
I love this kind of, they have very much Long Dark style graphics with what feels like it might be a Firewatch-esque kind of progression of the story.
Yeah.
If I had to gripe about anything out of all of these trailers, it's that if this is trying to go for a sanity horror style feel that The Thing has, this cute ass robot is killing it.
Yeah.
It is destroying any vibe this game may have of actually being scary, because they have this very chibi, round, happy droid following you around. So I wonder if the horror elements are going to be obviously not as visceral. Like if there are enemies and dangerous things, are going to be much more downplayed.
Yeah.
And it might be more of a thriller than a horror game,
Yeah.
which is kind of how Firewatch played out. But it does look neat. It does look interesting.
I don't know, having that happy little dude who just all of a sudden, like anytime shit's going down, drops because of it looks like there's some sort of power surge thing going on there. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden, like game comedy time's over.
Comedy time stopped. It's time to get real.
You do, like honestly, it could be interesting. It could be interesting.
You're right. They might be able to pull that off if he goes down. I'm just picturing, like, we just watched, what was it, Margaret? What was the PT game?
That was Madison.
I mean, imagine like that creature from Madison in this game compared to that. Like there's just a huge juxtaposition there.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. It's probably something I'm not going to find out until I either watch it, play it, or I played it, because I don't want spoilers, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We will see. So that was Arctic Awakening. Release date to be determined. No demo yet. Going to be available on Steam.
Okay.
Next up, we've got Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, this one looked pretty neat.
This is one I threw in. I had originally only watched the cinematic trailer, which was actually different than this one, which is a different cinematic trailer. But essentially, you are creating a cult of personality. The art is very chibi-esque, like Animal Crossing, but 2D. But the whole idea is that you are a lamb that becomes this cult of personality, and you have to start a cult to fight what looks like the other cultists of another
cult
god. Yeah. What's really neat is, besides the animation and the cinematic part, the gameplay goes into this like 1/2 colony sim, 1/2 Bastion style gameplay, which, you know, has been done before, but given the amount of effort that shows in this art, you know, even if it's not your style, you can bet that, like, especially in the gameplay, they did a fantastic. So many of these games in this fucking expo look fantastic. They've obviously put a lot of work into this, and I can't tell if it's got more Zelda puzzle dungeon-esque vibes or more like you said earlier, Bastion vibes, where it's just going from screen to screen.
I just liken it to Bastion because of the way you had in Bastion, you had the Bastion where after completing a level and collecting things on maps, it was your hub world. But not only was it your hub world, but that's where you managed your power-ups and also things that made the game more difficult. But it's where you managed your weapons and, it was your source of power. Where in this game, it looks like as you gather cultists, your shrine becomes bigger, you gather more power, thus making you more powerful is what I'm kind of getting from this trailer.
Dear listeners, if you know what happy tree friends are and don't starve, they had a baby and that's the art style.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
it's
just dope.
It's quite
dope. It's pretty cool.
Gory for such a little chibi looking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had to throw this one at the end of the list because I just thought, again, it tickled my novelty button, and I'm looking to try this one out. Was there a demo available?
No. I don't know. You didn't put it in your notes.
Oh, yeah, okay. I will try to, let's see here, pre-purchase, Cult of the Lamb. It is coming August 11th, at least on Steam, approximately 8 weeks.
Right around the corner. Doesn't look like a demo, ultimately.
Published by Devolver Digital, and hopefully, listener, if you play indie games, you know they're one you can usually trust.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with Devolver. Yeah, for sure.
That was Cult of the Lamb. There are a lot of other games I've been watching people stream 20 minutes to midnight and a couple other ones that I've been really enjoying. We just don't have enough time because there's 9,000 games coming
There
out
are
this
so many
week.
games.
Yeah.
The list of expos that I listed, they've got like 20 plus games per.
The summer of gaming, baby.
It really is
Which is super bizarre.
Well, what's really cool is we're getting this massive AAA drought, right? Where like the Xbox, or no, it was the Summer Games Fest showcase. The only like massive AAA title that they had to show like new was Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. And it's because AAA games, they don't release games in
I've
summer.
played Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah. Guess what? They're re-releasing 2 to get more money out of you.
Yeah.
If anything, and this is a thesis I wanted for tonight that like getting serious for a minute, if you haven't tried indie games because you've been always playing the Zeldas and the Modern Warfares and the things, you need to do yourself a favor and realize that indie games, the breadth and width and depth of these games is going to blow your fucking mind. And from the shit we've seen from Fallout 76 to Diablo Immortal recently, the last couple of years, I could keep naming games. I don't want to play any more AAA games. I'm almost done giving them my money. You know, every once in a while they put out a God of War and like fucking awesome.
Yeah,
do it.
For sure.
But like I'm going to go into most AAA games now, like fucking Starfield, assuming they're shit. And I will not be giving them any money until at least 3-4 months into release. They have amazing reviews because there are so many amazingly reviewed indie games that I get for a quarter of the price. Shit like Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
I still love that game. I would play it for hours a day if I could. It's got a completely free battle pass. All the cosmetics are free. They're always adding more stuff. And it's just, why? Why would you drop $60, $70, $100 on a collector's edition of a game that they give up on in a year and a half because it's a service game where you don't even own the game. You get to have the right to play it so that you can pay for fucking loot boxes and shit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a huge rant, but do yourself a favor. Check out all these demos available. There's so many more games we didn't cover.
Yes. So one of the things going on right now is the Steam Next Fest. Now, by the time this comes out, it's going to be Friday morning. Make sure you jump on Steam and check out Next Fest. Next Fest is an indie games showcase, and it's full of demos. That's what it's for. It's these indie developers that are allowed to put up their demos for free and showcase their games to you. You get a level or two, or you get an hour or two, and it's worth checking out. I scrolled the list of available demos with an endless scrolling mouse, and I didn't reach the bottom before I got tired of scrolling. It's also curated, so the amount of positive feedback that the demos get, it brings it further up to the list. So start from the top of the list. Check out the games that are being well reviewed by the community, and not an algorithm and not Kotaku.
Mm-hmm. And this goes all the way to the 20th, next Monday.
Yeah, so
you have the weekend to do this.
Make sure you spend your weekend playing some demos from indie developers. Josh and I recently picked up Metal Hellsinger. They have
my god, dude!
They have a demo for it.
Was so much
That was
fun.
the rhythm metal album.
Yes. Okay. So I was
with Serge Tonkin, right?
Yeah, I was really unsure about that game because we've talked about it before. I was really unsure about that game, but watching Andy play it and listening to the soundtrack, it was a lot of fun. But like, dude, the better you do, the faster you're killing. All of a sudden, like it starts picking up, and it's like it works surprisingly well.
Yeah, the game as you're playing, so you're playing a first-person shooter, and the idea of the shooter is to get your combo score up, and your combo score is it goes up by hitting enemies on beat, whether it be with projectile or with a melee weapon. It has rhythm sliders on the side, so they come in and they will match up with a stationary object, and you hit things on beat. So you have a visual cue and you have an audio cue. Now, each level starts out with its own soundtrack. So each level has a few songs that it'll play during the whole level experience. And Metal Hellsinger comes out with one level plus a boss fight. And the gameplay loop is fairly simple. It's not like a really hard shooter, but what it is it's got a leaderboard. So you're trying to get high scores. So it very much like any other rhythm game. But it's like as far as the graphics quality, it looks like a AAA shooter. It plays super well. Now I do have a pretty like solid gaming rig, but I mean I didn't drop below 144 frames during the demo, with the graphics all the way up, and it looks awesome.
The one reason I was really interested in that game is we've played a lot of rhythm games, Rock Band, Guitar Hero, and I've played a whole bunch of other rhythm-based games throughout the years.
Totally.
And I've played a lot of boomer shooters. And in both of those games individually, I've experienced flow.
Yeah.
That concept of flow, that you get into a state where everything just jives perfectly in sync so well, but individually. Yeah. So the idea of getting to play a boomer shooter style game that's also a rhythm game.
Yes.
Like I might go into cardiac arrest.
So I'll tell you, you definitely get flow state, and when it's interrupted, it shakes your fucking world, man.
Yeah, you'll lose the whole thing. But there's a few times where like the pistols just lined up with like like some of the drum. It felt really cool.
Yeah,
it felt really cool.
When I'm parking my car, I can't turn off my engine until the song gets to the end of a measure.
Right.
Yeah. Like I have to time this shit. Yeah. So now, I'm sure it's gonna jar the fuck out of me if I mess up.
What's super cool is the beginning of the level starts and there's just a few enemies on screen and you're getting your combo up. You're kind of getting used to the rhythm of the song and
Does
then
the gun auto shoot?
No. So so you have to fire on beat, right?
Okay. Is it only on the floor 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So it does keep it really simple. No half beats, nothing like that. So it is on beat. Now, as you're firing your gun and you're starting to get into that flow state, then you stop from like it's almost metronome in the beginning. You're getting essentially like a kick drum or a kick drum and cymbals or something like that. Really muted music. As it keeps going, like suddenly it starts adding more drums, and you're like, okay, cool, this is starting to sound like music now. And then you get your bass guitar, and you're like, ooh, that's a sick bass line. And then your fucking lead guitar kicks, and you're like, ooh, that's good. You get your second guitar, and you're like, oh, this is metal. You get the vocals in, and you're like, I'm in. You hit that flow state, and you're just getting a max of X16 combo, and there's shit flying up on your screen that's congratulating you. But you're also getting this excellent soundtrack that was made for the game by
which is really, really neat.
Yeah, by a shitload of huge names like Lamb of God and fucking Ginger and Serge Tankian, In Flames. Like all the biggest names in metal are in this game.
Question, is the length of a given map or match or session the length of the song, or does the song go on until you beat the level?
The song goes on until you beat the level, but so in this you get the one level and the end boss. The end boss had his own song.
Yeah. So
there's 2 songs that play during this. The demo might last 15 minutes, so you only hear the song twice maybe during the first playthrough. They're relatively long songs. That boss fight. So that was really cool because the boss fight goes to the beat of music too, where you are getting like it's
faster
attacking
BPM.
Faster BPM, and there's AOE attacks that as long as you're avoiding them on beat, you're fucking solid, right?
If you shoot on beat but don't hit anything, does it kill your combo?
Not that I've noticed. No. It's going to lower your accuracy though, which is going to lower your score.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good point. Because again, it's a high score.
Right.
Game.
So one of the things that I was doing to keep on beat was while I wasn't fighting anything, I was just tapping my mouse button to fire. And that was just how I was keeping on beat, so I could remain in that flow state, right?
Yeah.
But then I realized that was lowering my score in accuracy. So after my first game, I stopped that. So in my first game, I ended up in 13,000th place on the leaderboards. There's a lot of people playing this game. In my second playthrough, it was like 5,000th. So
Nice.
that actually puts me in like the top 80 percentile of the amount of people that have played now.
So there's going to be this need to constantly get line of sight to enemies so that you're not wasting beats, not shooting.
And you definitely want to go as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Like it encourages you to go fast.
I love when mechanics reinforce theme
Yes.
in games. Like, why else play a video game? You could be reading a book or watching a movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And this is an early level, so I'm pretty sure. So it shows you going
I'm sure it's probably going to get nuts.
Yeah, you go tutorial and then you go to first level, and first boss is like a kind of challenging encounter. I found the boss to be the easiest part of the game, but that's because all of its attacks were on B, and I was like, okay, I've got this. I'm hopping around and I'm double jumping, and you can shift like in the air real quick, like a quick sprint through the air. Super, super good. I highly encourage.
Similar experience?
Yes, very similar experience. I was playing it last night before I went to bed, so near the end there I was starting to drift off. But it was, dude, I had a lot of fun playing it. I want to see the whole game, man. I want to see the whole game.
Cool. Two things I wanted to mention before words. Diablo Immortal now has the lowest Metacritic score in history at 0.2. I'm so proud of everyone. Also, Stalker 2 did get delayed again to sometime early-ish 2023. Reasonable given everything that is happening over there. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there because it was important to me.
Yeah, definitely. Fuck Diablo Immortal. I'm kind of thinking fuck Diablo 4 at this point. They are hiring a store manager for one of the people that they're hiring for Diablo 4.
Game. Yeah.
And the description is just fucking ass. And I'm just kind of over Activision Blizzard at the moment. But all that negativity aside, we showcased a fuckload of great games, stuff that's coming up soon. Make sure you check out Video Game Tango. Go to the blog. I'll have everything we talked about in this episode listed there, including their Steam pages or Epic Game Store pages and their trailers.
Yeah. Games made by people, it seems like, who like video games.
Right.
And like people who play video games.
People that are getting into the games industry to make video games that they like. What?
Instead of to rake you over the coals and get as much of your money as quickly as they can with disappointing you the minimum, like the amount that you'll still buy, but not actually giving a fuck about your experience.
The only sequel we looked at tonight was Project Warlock 2, and that's a passion project made by a single dev. So check them out. Go check out Next Fest. Keep your eyes on awesome indie games coming out. Make sure you go to videogametango.com to check out all the games that we talked about tonight.
I think next week we might touch on Starfield. Be good to talk about.
I think we have to. I think it's our duty to discuss what we saw from the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase. Yeah. They did show quite a bit.
Yeah, I do want to also come into next week having played some of these games we've talked about, or at least the demos we found and fun. So
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for the night.
Yeah.
Quite. Yeah. Or the morning or evening or afternoon, whenever you're watching it. Yeah, listen. We may say night, but that's because it's night for us. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
We love you.
And say in Australia, goodbye. I mean, you've already heard us.
Fuck off, mate.
That's how far in the future they are.